The Internet. What do you think of when you hear that word? A vast cyberspace of countless possibilities? A cloud of endless information only a few clicks away? Streaming services with innumerable amount of content that you can stream for hours on end as background noise while you are avoiding responsibilities? Social media platforms that erase physical time and space just so you can explain to a stranger on the internet how their way of placing the toilet roll so that the paper comes from the backside is absolutely horrendous and that they are a horrible human being because of it. These aspects of the internet that might pop up in your head are the same things that are often associated with the promise of sustainability of the digital age. Imagine it. No more paper. Everything is online. No more dusty old libraries and traveling long distances to find information. It's all online. No more polluting morning traffic jams. Everybody is joining their meetings from the living room sofa dressed in their underwear. Everybody is online. It is in the cloud. It has been estimated that users connected to digital devices will generate 79.4 zettabytes of data in 2025. 1 zettabyte is equal to a quadrillion books. I can't even understand that number. How can I understand how much it is when it's multiplied by 79.4? But where are these books? Where exactly is this incomprehensible amount of data located? Where is the cloud? The internet and big amounts of digital data require facilities that store this information in the material world. Servers, data centers, actual physical locations that process your selfies and the hilarious photos of your cat dressed as a hot dog that you need to share to the world. In 2017, an estimate was made that data centers have the fastest growing carbon footprint in the whole ICT industry. The promise of the sustainability of the digital era isn't as clear-cut as it seems. The paperless and traffic jam-free world that we imagine is not a solution to environmental issues. While solving others, it creates new ones. The online world is not disconnected from the offline world. The cloud is very much connected to the material reality. The cloud is a stone. Let's look at Netflix and their energy consumption, for example. Netflix is the largest streaming service in the world with over 183 million users worldwide. In 2014, Netflix claimed that streaming an hour of their content generated less carbon emissions than an hour of breathing or reading. In their Environmental, Social, and Governance report of 2019, Netflix takes responsibility only for their direct energy use, meaning energy consumption of their offices, studios, and the telecommunications facilities of their own content delivery network. This direct energy use amounts to 94,000 megawatt hours per year. This equals to running 188,000 fridges for a year. According to Netflix, a portion of that direct energy use is from non-renewable sources, but they do not specify what percentage this portion is, nor the types of energy they are using. In the report, the company refuses to take responsibility for their indirect energy use, meaning energy they do not use themselves, but is consumed to deliver Netflix to everyone. This indirect energy use involves the use of servers of other companies like Amazon Web Service and Google Cloud. Netflix states that they do not control this indirect energy footprint and therefore cannot address its efficiencies themselves. This indirect use amounts up to 375,000 megawatt hours of energy used annually. This means 750,000 fridges running for a year. What is more interesting is that each individual viewer's energy consumption needed to power their own laptops, tablets, or internet routers to watch the content is left out completely from the report. It's not even mentioned. The Plantiflix project reports that in fact all Netflix users combined emit as much carbon dioxide in 1 second as driving a car 3.8 times around the world, and in 1 minute, equivalent of running a dryer for 160 years. Since this calculation was done, the subscriber amount of Netflix has only been on the rise. For Netflix to say that their streaming services cause less pollution than breathing, or the fact that they only take responsibility for their own direct energy use, can be considered as greenwashing. Greenwashing could be described as a kind of marketing strategy. Netflix is spending more time and money increasing their corporate reputation as seemingly environmentally friendly rather than actively directing resources in making their business as sustainable as possible. They say that they cannot control the carbon footprint of their indirect energy consumption. This is true, but they can control who they work with. In 2019, The Wired reported that Google Cloud was not the most energy efficient, but they did have annual reports about moving towards 100% renewable energy. Amazon, on the contrary, was reported to have abandoned their sustainable energy commitment and have consistently kept its carbon footprint away from public attention. Instead of greenwashing, Netflix could simply make environmentally conscious choices in who they collaborate with and be transparent about the energy consumption related to their business. Being transparent is key here, since millions of hours of content is being streamed on Netflix 24/7. The users of the service have to be able to know how much pollution are they actually contributing to. According to Project Plantiflix, an hour of video streaming causes 0.4 kilograms of CO2 emissions. With the subscriber amount of Netflix, this would amount up to 146,000 tons of CO2 released into the atmosphere every day. And now with people spending more time online due to the COVID-19 pandemic and people sharing their subscription with other people, the number is likely to be much, much higher in reality. However, there are alternatives to Netflix's approach. Take Facebook, for example, a similar technological giant with almost 3 billion users worldwide. The majority of energy consumption of Facebook comes from its data centers and servers in the US. The annual footprint of an active Facebook user is roughly 3.5 kilograms of CO2 per year, which on a monthly basis equals to the carbon footprint of a cup of coffee. Unlike Netflix, Facebook has reported percentages of where the energy to power its data centers comes from. In 2012, this was 27% from coal, 23% of renewable energy, 17% gas, 13% nuclear, and the remaining 20% was unclassified. Since this report of 2012, Facebook has been sharing similar information on an annual basis. Reports show that the company commits in various ways to the use of renewable energy. Despite of a whopping 146% increase in energy consumption from 2012 to 2019, the percentage of non-renewable energy used by Facebook dropped from 65% to only 14%. Along with moving towards renewable and more sustainable energy, Facebook also carries out other solutions to the issue of conscious energy consumption. For example, the company is placing many of their servers in areas of colder climates, such as the city of Cologne in Ireland or city of Odense in Denmark. Placing the servers into a colder climate requires less energy in cooling down the facilities. In the future, Facebook is joining the Renewable Energy Buyers Alliance. The members of the alliance commit to using 100% renewable energy by 2025. So although just like Netflix, Facebook doesn't comment on the energy consumption of an individual user, they do show how transparency can go a long way in setting sustainable goals for large corporations and ensuring that their users can be conscious of their practices. With these examples of Netflix and Facebook in mind, what could be done to make using internet services more sustainable? Consider that your internet usage is a material process, just like showering or turning on the lights. Do not binge watch series and fall asleep on the couch with Netflix on just so you can stream content to empty walls. Watch content consciously, and when you feel sleepy, turn your devices off and go to bed. Control your use of social media platforms. Don't just mindlessly scroll through your feed out of boredom. Try to use the time in a more productive way instead. Corporations like Netflix and Facebook should make a faster switch to renewable energy as one of the most viable long-term solutions. We should also hold corporations accountable in actually following through their sustainability goals. If they fail, there should be sanctions. Sustainability reports of corporations should be easily accessible. We should all be able to see what a company has promised and what they have actually achieved. But to be honest, most of us won't read policies and reports. Researching for this essay was the first time I have done it in my life. So what is important is how the information about sustainability of the internet is reported by media and for us to be critical about it. Reporting about ICT corporations' energy consumption can be sometimes underestimations or overestimations. In 2019, there were multiple news articles demonizing Netflix about how streaming an hour of content would release 3.2 kilograms of CO2. This research was not peer-reviewed and was spreading false, overestimated info. The correct peer-reviewed number is around 0.4 kilograms of CO2 per hour, previously mentioned in this video. So be responsible and do some fact-checking yourself. Even the most prestigious sources might skip this part. And worst case scenario, if we fail to take these actions into consideration and destroy the Earth anyway, we can just follow Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk and move to space, right?
Actually, we have already polluted space too. There are already 5,000 satellites around the Earth's low orbit, and Elon Musk's Starlink project will triple that number. If you follow him, you will become a part of Earth's ring of space junk and debris, unless you're interested in a job perspective of a space garbage man.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me! Oh, motherfucker! Maybe it is better if I just log out and go offline for once.